Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live stream where we're going to talk about how small creators can earn more without 100K followers. Okay, that's going to be our agenda for this live stream. The reason why is because I'm a small creator myself. I have just 26,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube, yet I'm able to consistently generate over twenty to $30,000 every single month from my online business, from my content creation efforts. And the way I do that is something that we're going to cover in this live stream. We're going to be covering all the various different strategies that you can use in order to make more money essentially as a small creator. Okay. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of interesting and valuable, actionable tips for you that you can take home and implement right away. So yeah, let's get started. Before we do, quick little call to action is if you, after watching this or during at any point, decide that this sounds interesting and you would like to get help with the implementation. Then yeah, essentially, there's going to be a link in the description and also as a pinned comments, georgevlasiev.com/creator. So we work just with a few creators, and it's going to be, you can fill out an application, and then if we are a good fit for each other, we might be able to work with you and help you implement the strategies that we're going to talk about to 10x your income as a small creator. Okay, so check out the link, apply if you're a good fit. We're going to have a strategy call. You're going to have a couple of good tips, and if we're a good fit, we're going to work with each other. Okay, so let's get into the live stream. Let's get into the meat and potatoes without further ado, shall we? Cool. So I have my helpful assistant sitting where you guys are, and she's going to be asking me questions, and we're going to just be riffing and answering them. So let me pull up the chat here so I can see you guys. Whoever is joining, drop your questions, and we're also going to be answering those as well. All right. Before we do, let me just quickly change the title of this stream. So it's going to be called How Small Creators, boom, like this. And I'm going to add this link as well. Good morning, Sabir. All right, I'm going to send this into the chat. And then let's see if I can actually pin this. Just give me a second. All right, how can I pin this? All right, pin message. Great. All right, so let's get started with the questions.
All right. First of all, I have no idea how to monetize my content. I'm interested. Where do I start?
Okay, so you have no idea where to monetize your content. You're interested, but you don't know where to start. So this really is going to depend on how many followers, subscribers you currently have. And yeah, so there are different ways to go about monetizing your content, and it doesn't really matter like how many subscribers or followers you have. What matters more is how many views you get, and are they high quality views or are they low quality views, right? So what I mean by this is, sometimes you can get 100 quality views that are going to make you $500, and sometimes you can get tens of thousands of views and you can be making no money at all. So what determines this is kind of what audience you're reaching, like what audience is your content attracting. So let me give you a short practical example. Say you are doing gaming content, right? And say that you're attracting primarily young men, right? Ages like 14 to 18. Well, that demographic doesn't have so much money. They don't have so much purchasing power, so they don't spend so much online. essentially your RPM is not going to be high. RPM stands for revenue per mil, so how much money you're going to make. This applies, by the way, across all platforms, right? I'm not just talking YouTube, but it applies across all platforms. That's first and foremost. Second of all, it's hard to get brand deals and affiliate partnerships, again, because that audience of people don't tend to spend so much, right? And all the purchases most likely go through their parents. Maybe they do have a little bit of money, but that's essentially what it is, right? So yeah, that's kind of an example of one extreme. Now the other extreme, or like kind of spectrum, left and right, is small businesses, entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized businesses, right? So corporations, big, small and medium-sized businesses have a lot more money to spend, right? They are in business, they are, transacting, they have money coming in, money coming out, they have employees, they have things going on, right? So they're constantly, interacting, and they need constantly, marketing, and they're spending, and, so basically going to the money flow, like closer to the money flow, is one of the most important things to, as a creator, to make more money, right? So basically what I mean, coming back to the idea about the 100 quality views, is that, if you make 100 quality views, that helps a company like a SMB, small, medium-sized business, to generate conversions, helps them convert more people into whatever they're selling, for example, right? You're gonna get a piece of that action, right? You're gonna get a small part of the money that they generate, if you're smart, of course, right? So I remember I had a friend, right? I still have this friend, right? And he used to produce a lot of YouTube videos. But the problem that he did was he was generating videos in a very high paying niche, but he never had a link that would earn him a commission if anybody bought through his link. So he was essentially leaving like tens of thousands of dollars on the table because he never went ahead and he never just simply did like a 10-minute action of signing up to the program of that company that he was basically making videos about, and of implementing that affiliate link in his content online. And so, and I know that because I know his channel, and I know how many views those videos got. And he made money, of course, on like the YouTube ads, but I would bet that was probably like 1/10 of what he could have made. What if he just had a link implemented in those videos? Because he had like thousands of videos, right? And he had like millions of views. So yeah, one simple way to first and foremost start to generate more income as a small creator is to look at the content you're creating and say, okay, what niche vertical am I operating in? And what kind of companies can I partner with? And which kind of products can I essentially promote, right? So this is called affiliate marketing, right? You get affiliated with some kind of a company. Now, the upsides with this is that you don't need to make your own products. You don't need to figure out what does the market, is willing to pay for, right? Everything is done for you. All the heavy lifting is done for you. So what you are essentially doing is you are monetizing your existing traffic and your existing views. So you have this like very valuable thing, which is called eyeballs, which is called people's attention. And then you're saying, hey, by the way, check out, these products. And then your audience, or the people who watch your stuff, are going to then click through, and then they're going to do business with that company. And you are going to get a cut of that because you referred those people. So that's like the easiest way to generate like more income right away. Like I bet that if you have some kind of a following, or if you have at least some people watching your content, you can right away, in the first like few days, start making right away more money just by implementing those affiliate links into your content. It's as simple as that. And Yeah, so that's kind of like one of the strategies to generate more income. Of course, we're going to be talking a lot more in like brand deals and optimizing your content for higher RPMs, but this is like a very actionable thing that you can go ahead and implement right away.
How do you find affiliates?
How do you find, how do you get affiliate links, right? So how do you get affiliate links? Well, there are affiliate networks like CG.com, Impact.com, PartnerStack.com, right? And these are like hubs. So companies go there to find affiliates like us, and affiliates go there to find companies like them, right? So it's this kind of like a hub, and they have tracking, they have unique links, they have all of that implemented. So essentially, you apply to these to be part of their programs. You get accepted. There are of course terms. Different companies have different terms, right? CPA, CPL, per sign up, whatever, and then you accept the terms, you get your affiliate link, and then you just implement it into your content, right? That's how you start establishing relationships with these companies. That's your entry point. So you sign up to one of these networks, you start applying to various different companies, maybe someone you actually want to work with or someone who might have a high acceptance rate. And then you just reverse engineer it from there. You look at their offerings, you look at their products. Okay, can I implement this into my current content strategy? If not, what kind of content can I make to, promote or talk about this product or service? And that's essentially how you go about it. Yeah, so someone says, yo, do you do a channel? Do you do channel reviews? I have a search-based channel that I have tried to lift off. I have asked a couple of search-based gurus to review, but no one answers. Sure. Just drop your channel here in the chat, and we can take a look at it together. All right, next question.
Can I monetize any niche?
Can I monetize any niche? Yes, you can monetize pretty much any niche. There are products and services in anything, right? I mean, as long as there is a problem that another person has, there's going to be a solution that you can offer. And, whether you're in gardening, whether you are in gaming, whether you are in beauty, whether you are in you name it, there's going to be a product or service that you can partner up with, right? So if you just check out these affiliate networks, you're going to see that there's like a lot, man, there's like tens of thousands of various different companies and products and services that you can, basically talk about and implement into your content, right? So yeah, that's that. And what else? Yeah, it's you can monetize anything. You can just look at it, see what you want. Of course, then you start to get into like the nitty gritty of things like, okay, what should I make content about? What pays more, right? Because some verticals pay less. When I say vertical, I say niche, right? So some niches pay more, some niches pay less, and that's when you need to start, really thinking about what is worth your time, So yeah, that's a little bit about that.
Okay, this sounds great, but I'm already drowning into the work and I have no time for anything extra.
Okay.
How do I solve it?
Okay, so this sounds great, but you're drowning in work. How do you free up your time but continue to make more content and make more money, right? Well, obviously the answer is get people to help you, right? AKA hire people, hire to do some of the work for you, right? So I say that whatever can be done, once or twice can be done over and over again, and it doesn't have to be you, right? So for example, I don't edit my videos at all. Very rarely I will do any kind of editing, and that's because I don't like to do it. There are people who do it like amazing, and I'm not good at editing at all, and it's very draining for me. So then, like, okay, why would I do it myself, right? And it wasn't always like this, of course. I didn't have money to, it's called outsourcing. I didn't have money to outsource in the very beginning. So I first had to do it myself, right? then when the content that I was producing myself started to generate some money, then I would take that money and then I would start doing very basic, very cheap edits, right? You can go into my channel and you can look up some of the like videos from 2 years ago. I mean, I'm not proud of those videos, of course, but listen, like at that moment, that's what I had to do in order to generate some income, right? They were low quality videos and I was doing like a lot of volume, but they worked to some degree, and they generated some commissions to me as well. And yeah, that's essentially how I made that first kind of push. And then I was always reinvesting back into the business. So then once I started generating those like higher commissions, then I would take them and I would start to slowly, get into more high quality editing, right? To where we're now, we now have this amazing setup, and we have like amazing people on the team who are doing a lot of great, screen recording, screencasting, yeah, really good like motion graphics and stuff. So it's a gradual process, step by step. But depending on where you are in your journey, at some point you're gonna start to want to get people who are better than you to start to do the work, right? So graphic designers for thumbnails and for any type of graphics for your business, highly recommended, because graphics is what the first thing that people see. So it's very visual. So that's very important. Find a really good graphic designers who can help you put together graphics, right? Take more content, like take more pictures, create like a library and then send it to them. And then like, as you need more things like banners and profile pictures, just get them to do it. And that will elevate your brand a lot, right? Then the second thing is, of course, editors. So they can do a much better job. They can do it much faster. Of course, it starts to get a little bit complicated when you start to get a lot of editors, because then it becomes like, yeah, you have to manage people, right? Managing people is not easy. So they need to get managers to manage the people. But yeah, hiring is very hard, especially freelancers, very hard to manage the people, to make sure they produce good work. But what I found, like a tip that I found, is people are going to respond better to you when you pay them. It sounds so easy and counterintuitive, but the less friction there is between you, them, and them receiving the payment from you, the more incentivized they're going to be to work with you, right? So as they work, right? First, they're going to be hesitant. They're not going to be so trusting you, right? And so as they're going to be sending you invoices or whatever, requesting money, and you're going to be like, all right, you just paid right away, and you say, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We have more work, right? They're going to be like, okay, well, this guy is great. Like, he gives me work. He pays on time. He pays fast. He doesn't really like, try to squeeze out some money out of me, right? Because these, think about it, everybody, these freelancers, right? They just want to have like a consistent, steady clients with whom they work with. So I really like to work with people long term. Like once I find someone whom I really like to work, and they do good work consistently, then I try to keep them in the team and treat them well, and that way, I can rely on them and they can rely on me. So it's like a helpful mutual relationship. All right, we got a question. How important is face recording when doing affiliate marketing? Yeah, I mean, it's super important. Trust is the most important thing when it comes to like affiliate marketing and everything. And overall, like, I mean, overall, I found that content creation and having like a face is just super important, right? Humans like humans, and we resonate with other people we trust. So like, I don't think it's even a question anymore about whether you need to have a face or not, right? If you don't have a face, I think you're disadvantaged. If you look at all the top creators, right? It's not like they're just faceless or whatever. All of them show their face, right? So you need to be on the front lines. You need to show your face. You need to. That's the way to really compete it. To compete in the marketplace is go out there and do the hard work yourself. Yeah. All right. Next question, please.
What is the best platform in social media to monetize, and can this work in all platforms?
What is the best social media platforms for affiliate marketing? It's YouTube. Why? Well, that's because now it's a search engine, right? Then I want to say like TikTok is a search engine as well, but TikTok is very short form content, right? YouTube is long form content and it's a search engine, right? So why that is important is because search engine is intent. Okay, so if I'm talking gibberish, just stay with me here. Intent means that when you, instead of just being served contents by the algorithm into your feed, right? Intent is you are very intentional about what you want to find, right? So you go into the search bar and you type in a specific, question, and then you look for it. So that's why, for example, when your video ranks in SERP, in the search engine results pages on YouTube, you see a very high CTR, right? So you see a CTR of 10, 15, sometimes 20% because people are looking for that specific thing. If your video is first, they're like, okay, that's what I was looking for. And then they click through and then they watch it, right? So some of my best performing videos have CTRs of over 20%. So the best platform for affiliate marketing is YouTube because the search intent converts very well into money. Meaning if someone is searching for best project management software, you can make a video about that. And if the audience finds it valuable, you're going to rank and you're going to generate a lot of commissions. That was a good short. I find myself thinking when I talk, how can I talk in terms of shorts? It's really funny. So when I'm talking, I'm like, question, boom, 3-second hook, and then like deliver without any interruptions. So I'm practicing how to talk. What would be good for shorts? That's funny, but I think it's good practice.
So you can monetize both long form and short form content?
No, you cannot. Well, let's put it this way. You can. You can monetize short and long, but the monetization is a bit different because short form content, they don't have links in the description or even in the comments that you can click off to in YouTube Shorts or in TikTok or in Instagram, because they need to keep you in the feed scrolling, right? On a YouTube video, it's like once you click, there's this real estate underneath, which is called the description and the pinned comment, where you can actually click off. So that's why it's different, right? And that's why the YouTube long form video is so powerful because you get like dedicated real estate and you can have call to actions and you can establish a relationship and you can say, if you find this video helpful or we have an exclusive deal, the link's in the description, right? That's why it's so powerful for affiliate marketing. With short form content, it's more like you have, a unified link in your profile on TikTok or Instagram, right? And when you click that, it opens up, for example, that thingy where you have all many different links. And then you can say like, hey, this is the best project management software, or hey, this is how you form your LLC or whatever it is, right? So it's kind of different approaches. So you can have in short form content, you can have a CTA in the video to click the link in your profile. On YouTube long form, you can just point them directly to the link that is in the description, right? And I would say that the YouTube long form is less friction, right? It's harder to get views, but it's also less friction. The less steps a person needs to take in order to click the link, the better it is, essentially. So yeah, that's the difference between short and long.
We've talked a lot about affiliate marketing. Is there other ways to monetize?
Yeah, are there other ways to monetize except for affiliate marketing? Yes, there are. So, secret number 2. The second way to make money with creating content is with brand deals. Okay, so you reach out to companies, they reach out to you, and you create either, integrations into your videos mentioning that brand. You've seen it. Hey, by the way, this video is sponsored by X, Y, and Z. Or then you make a dedicated video, which is like, how to do keyword research, for example. And then you say, by the way, for this tutorial, we're going to be using SEMrush. Okay. That's a dedicated video. Now, when it comes to selling, right, these SMBs, when it comes to pitching your price, this is where it starts to get very interesting, right? Because they want to pay, of course, as little as possible and get the best content possible. And your job is, of course, to get as much money as possible, but of course, you're incentivized to create the best video possible. So what I found is that, and by the way, there's like no rules to this. So there's not like, okay, you have this amount of followers or this amount of views, and then you should be getting this much. No, it's like a wild west out there, Basically, is like whatever you can sell, that's what it is, right? If you can sell for $500, okay, that's the best you can do. If you can sell for like $10,000, 15, 20, whatever, then that's what you can do as well. When it comes to selling, when it comes to pitching, when it comes to getting the best offers for your services, it comes down to the value you provide. Yeah, so thank you very much, by the way. I appreciate that. But when it comes to selling and pitching, right, it comes down to value, okay? These companies, mind you, they have a lot of money. Not all of them, but they have big marketing budgets, right? So for them to spend 10, 15, 20, 25K on, a marketing campaign, collaborating with an influencer like you and me, is a deal, but it's not a big deal. But what they're looking for is simply ROI, right? Return on investments. So it really comes down to you being able to drive performance. As simple as that. That's number one. And the second thing that determines the success of your sale is if you're able to translate or, convince them that what they're getting into will actually drive that ROI. So it's like, what's the likelihood that we will get that ROI? So you say, hey, if you do this campaign with me and we produce 1, 3, 5, 10 videos, I promise that you're going to get a return of, X. And they're like, okay, that's good. We want that. But then the second question is like, how likely are we that we're going to get that ROI? So that's when you need to show proof. So that's when you need to show your past performance efforts and say, hey, look, we worked with this company and we generated this many views and we were able to drive this many signups and that resulted in this much revenue. If you look at my website, Vlasiev.com, it's just my surname.com. It's my B2B landing page with, past results and everything. And I try to show clearly like, okay, I work with this company, it resulted in this much revenue. We worked with this company, it resulted in this much revenue. And also when I jump on calls with these companies, right, I show them, like I literally screen share my like affiliate dashboards and I show them and I'm like, look, like, this video, this many views over this much time, is generating this many views every 48 hours, right? What do you think this translates into money, right? I like ask them, I challenge these people, right? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm like, all right, well, let's take a look together. And then I, switch tabs in Google Chrome and I share them the affiliate dashboard. And I'm like, okay, look, it resulted in, 10 signups and this much revenue and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, okay, that sounds good, right? So the better proof you have, the better likelihood that you will get the deal. And of course, the higher the price you can demand. So how do you get better proof? Well, you drive better results. How do you drive better results? Well, you create better content, right? It's really simple if you think about it. if you and I both are competing for, you know, the SERP to be in SERP, to rank in SERP for SEMrush tutorial, for example, well, who do you think is going to win? Someone who makes a shitty video with mediocre quality, not going in depth, not having a good intro, not having good audio, good visuals, good everything, screencast? Or do you think is going to be the person who just completely destroys everything and just like, when a person sees that, they're like, wow, okay, I don't need to see anything else anymore. This is the tutorial. So it makes it harder, right? It makes it harder to rank for these competitive keywords. But then for people who are willing to go, that route, it also makes it better because it makes it harder to compete for others, right? So you start to create this like little moats almost, right? There's only a handful of like top creators for these like tutorials, that we're all competing for. And by the way, another important thing to note, to mention here is that it's not like there's a winner take all, by the way, right? So it's not like, oh, Simon from Metix Media has ranked #1 for keyword SEMrush tutorial, and then he gets 100% of the traffic. That's not true, because it's not like all 100% of traffic goes there. It goes to position #1, position #2, position #3. Guess what? They click on one video and then they watch it and then they're like, oh wait, there's another video on the right hand side. So then you get suggested traffic and then they click through to there, right? So it's actually a good sign when there are existing big channels, existing big videos talking, like doing content and getting a lot of views. Because if you match their quality or you exceed their quality, you'll be getting suggested traffic. And this is a new thing, by the way. We used to talk about search, but suggested traffic. Oh, we haven't talked about that, but that's also a huge thing. Suggested traffic is huge. Hi, Chris. All right. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. My lovely assistant is going to be asking me more questions. And yeah, we've been going at it for 32.5 minutes, and we ain't stopping no time soon. Let's get it.
So what I'm hearing, it's about quality, not quantity.
Quality. Quality beats quantity every day, 100%. So people vote, right? The market votes. In the short term, the market is a voting machine, but in the long term, the market is a weighing machine. And the heavier your video is in terms of like the value it provides to the end user, the more likely you are that this video is going to perform really well. Because, YouTube takes, millions and billions of different signals to determine what video is going to get the positions in search and then suggested. And if you really think about it, it really just comes down to the value that every user gets, okay? If your video serves the person, if it answers their question, and they're like, okay, this is a very helpful tutorial, this is a very helpful video, and I got all of my questions answered, then that is, over time, it will work. Over like 3-6 months, your video is gonna start climbing. It might not be instant, like you might work on a super great tutorial for like a month, right? And you publish it and then you get discouraged because nothing happens, but then over time that video starts to perform better and better, and then eventually you start to climb in SERP, you start to get more suggested traffic, because every time a person clicks on that, they watch disproportionately more of your video than the other videos, right? And then they find it helpful. And then the algorithm is like, oh, this is a great video. Like, people actually find it super helpful. Let's promote it. And then they promote it to more people, and then more people find it helpful, and then it gets even more and more. So it's like a flywheel. So essentially, making better content is a way better strategy than making shitty content. It sounds so simple and like so obvious, but it's so true, right? We used to talk in the past, by the way, what worked back then right, to get us here is not going to work here to get us there, right? What worked before is not going to work now anymore. So you need to adapt. I see people clinging on to the old strategies and, oh, I was watching some content back there and da 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 da. It doesn't work anymore, man. You got to adapt. You got to like compete. If you want to do the YouTube thing, what is a YouTube? YouTube is a visual medium, right? You gotta make better shit. That's what it is. You gotta make videos and tutorials that are so helpful. You gotta be the best. That's what it is. You gotta be the number one. If you want to be good at something, you gotta be the number one, and that's what we're aiming at as well. We're diversifying now a little bit. We're doing more personal branding, but we're also doing tutorials. So anyway, yeah, quality 100%. Quality beats quantity every day.
Yeah, repeat to me, please, what you just kind of said already. What about the YouTube automation? You've been talking about that in the past, and like,
Yeah.
there's still people who promote it. Like, what do you mean? Why can't I just produce a lot and kind of hack the system?
Yeah. Every big creator is a YouTube automator. Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTube automator there are out there, if you think about it that way. Why? Well, because he has insane business going on around his channel, around his whole content thing, right? You think it's him creating it? No, automation is just a fancy word of saying like putting people and systems in place to help you create better content. That's it. So the way you do that is very different, right? So you could say I'm a YouTube automator as well, right? Because I have people and systems in place, right? Like I don't post a lot of the contents myself, for example. I don't edit the content. I don't make the graphics, right? I just show up to make the videos. So yeah, am I 100% automated? No. But am I like 80%, 70% automated? Yeah. So that's one thing. Do I still believe that like YouTube automation as we thought about it in the past, where you put up together a faceless channel and, Metix Media, Simon, he's like 100% automated, I think, 95, 99% automated, because now he has hosts, right? Charlie Chang as well. He has hosts making these videos, but that's expensive, man. That's very expensive. So, if you're going to be doing that, you're looking at a couple of $100 per video just to the hosts. So the production of each video is going to come to $300, $400, maybe $500. So you got to be very confident that every video you make is going to be making at least that money back. And it's a risky business.
Why can't I just hire cheaper?
Well, because cheaper people are going to give you cheaper quality, right? So yeah, it's the cheaper the people, the worse the quality, right? I'm talking about hosts. I tried it. It's hard, man. It's really hard. You got to get native speakers from first world countries who are good on camera, confident, and it's hard. So yeah, making shitty, low quality, making shitty small tutorials about about YouTube, like about different tutorials, doesn't work anymore. You have to make high quality, very in-depth tutorials. Yeah.
All right, now help me.
Help you.
I am struggling with topics.
Yes.
What do I do?
You're struggling with topics. Okay, well, look at what others are doing. It's very simple. If you're struggling to figure out what to make videos about, then just look at what others are doing, and there's a reason why they're doing that, right? And then you should just basically copy, steal. Good artists copy, great artists steal. Look at what others are doing and just do it, copy that, steal it from them. That's one of the best ways to go about more ideation. Another thing, another strategy for ideation is, by the way, when I say like that, right, obviously I'm talking about people in your niche, right? So you got to understand the competitive landscape, look at the content creators who are in your space, in your niche, Look at what kind of videos they're making, what is performing well, why is that performing well, can we recreate that ourselves, and then you start to reverse engineer. There's this thing that's like 10% of the videos you make are gonna get like 90% of the views. Super important to know that, because oftentimes we make videos, most of them won't work, but then the ones that do work, they're like the ones that carry everything basically. So that's the one strategy. And the second strategy, of course, is to reverse engineer back, coming back to the whole affiliate thing, from the content that is already working well. So if something is working well, and you are partnering up with these companies, look at their services, look at their products, and then think, what kind of content can I make to sell that? You're essentially selling through the internet via video. That's it. And it's like an automated thing. So you don't actively sell every sale, but you make one piece of content that goes out and sells for you while you're sleeping, while you're traveling, while you're doing all these things. In the past, like 6 years, I haven't gone to bed without making money. 5 to 6 years. Every day I go to bed, and in my sleep, I'm making money. And that's where you need to get to as well. Yeah. We got 3 people listening. One of them is Sabir, I'm sure. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. 3 said, have you and Ron talked about creating a Where Are We Now episode? Yeah, we might do it. Ron is in, I don't know, I haven't spoken to him about that, but it would be fun to do it. I'm down. Ron is in Bali, building his e-commerce business. I am home, building my personal brand content business. So we've gone very different routes, but we sometimes still talk. And I was visiting him in Netherlands this summer. We went to a festival, so that was fun. Yeah, but he's gonna do great, and I'm gonna do both great as well. So it's we had a fun time building together. We've learned a lot, and we also sold quite a bit of coaching back then as well. We were, I think we sold over $100,000 worth of coaching. Did we make any money? No, we didn't. We literally didn't make any money because we sold, but then we tried to scale, but we were investing into things that didn't make us money in the first place. Because what was making us money in the first place was, establishing a relationship, like parasocial relationships through the podcast, right? We were kind of hitting this, like, it was interesting. We were hitting a trend, which was YouTube automation, and we were talking about that. And we were doing something different, right? We were lucky to some extent that it happened like that, because it was like a growing trend, but we were talking about that trend in like a long form format, which is a podcast, right? And so it was very unique. Like, no one was really doing that before us. No one was doing a podcast, long form content about use of automation. And so the people, there was a lot of people in the market who were researching that, and then they would end up in our podcast, and they're like, oh, wow, okay, this is cool. So it was like, we were kind of lucky, like, we were lucky for sure that we hit that, and then, but we were also very dumb, because we were like, yeah, let's try this. And we were like basically looking at what others are doing. We were like, let's try to scale Insta, let's try, and all those can work, but it was funny. It was a great experience, great time, man. And we were like, angry at each other, and we were all the ups and downs, and it was a lot of fun. We've learned a lot, sold a lot, we traveled a lot together. We have good memories. We attended Mastermind in Dubai, and we went to Spain. We tried being gurus by renting a car and taking photos with it. That was a nice car, by the way. It was a Porsche 911 in Spain. We rented it in Marbella, and but essentially, eventually, it just was not worth it because we were selling, right? We weren't taking any money home, and we were spending all the money, and we were tying ourselves down to like a lot of work. So, yeah, I didn't. It was a lot of work for no money essentially. Right? We were like, all right, we were gonna work with you for like, 6 months, man, for like, I don't remember, like whatever we were selling it back then, and then it was like every week we would have a coaching call, an hour each. First we were doing it all together, then we started doing like one by one, and it was like, yeah, it was like literally no money. Like I make way more money now, and the deliverable is way easier. The deliverable is like way easier. It was like now it's like I make a video, right? I sell it for, whatever, 5K, for example, and then I get the video done within like 2, 3, whatever, 4 weeks, and then that's done, right? It's delivered. I don't own them anything anymore. With that coaching thing, it was like we charged less and we promised way more. So it was like it was disproportionate amount of work to pay. And yeah, so that taught me a big lesson that like if I'm ever gonna be doing, any kind of coaching or anything like this, it needs to be like very clear terms, not tying myself down to work and just being very clear, right? So for example, with my current offering is I help people essentially who have small followings implement the strategies that have helped me to make anywhere from now 20 to 30K per month, right? So if you have a YouTube channel, or you do other kinds of content, and if you have a small following, you're making some money, but you want to make more, then there's a good chance that I might be able to help you better implement affiliate marketing, get on calls with brands, sell them. Like I can guarantee that within like the first month of working with me, you're gonna get your first brand deal and you're gonna get your first affiliate commission, and then you're gonna sell from, like, you're gonna scale from there. It's just that, right? So we're actually now testing this offer in the market. We have this new approach where we come up with these offers and then we run ads to them and we test. And yeah, so now we're running this offer. We're running, and we have built a funnel. It's georgevlasiev.com/creator. And there's also a link that is there's pinned here. So you can check it out. You can apply for it. And if we're a good fit and I can help you, then yeah, it's we might be able to help you. So if you're interested, there's going to be a link there. Yeah. Talking about Ron, you should absolutely make the episode. Yeah, we'll see. I'll talk to Ron. He's a busy guy. So am I. So if the stars align, we will do an episode. But I really enjoy talking to people. I'm a natural extrovert. I enjoy talking to people, and so yeah, uh, doing those podcast episodes was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed them. They like energized me. We would like talk, about different things. That was a lot of fun. So now I try to do these podcasts or these live streams myself solo. It's different because I don't have that kind of interaction, but it's also kind of fun because I get to interact with you guys through the chat. And I think now that we're starting to slowly invest more into the personal brand, and the more I get into these like live streams, the better I will get, the more interaction we get as well. And I think live streaming is the future. I really think so. Um, so I want to get better at it, and we're gonna slowly increase the amount of people who tune in as well. Right now it's only a few people, right? But we're gonna figure out how to get more people to do these live streams, and we're gonna be doing them more consistently, right? We have this nice setup. All I do is just hit one button and I'm literally live. So it's very easy as well, and it has a disproportionate value to the time spent, right? I might spend like 1, 2, 3 hours doing a live stream, but then that results in like 20, 30 shorts that I can repurpose across all platforms. I can also do segments. So if I'm talking about something and it's like a nice 3, 4, 5 minute segment, it automatically cuts up, right? I use Riverside for that. So yeah. Cool. So yeah, that's that. Any more questions? If you guys have questions as well, drop them in the chat.
More about content creation.
Content creation.
Specific steps that I'm struggling with.
Okay,
What
specific
about,
steps about content creation. Let's get it.
what about scripting?
Scripting. Yeah, good question. So how do you go about scripting? Well, oh man, we spent a lot of time and effort and energy on that. Scripting. Do I have to give away all my secrets? No, I don't have to give away all my secrets, right? General advice. Okay, yeah. I'm only gonna give away all of my secrets to those who come work with me. Okay, I don't want to be giving away everything, but some general advice is because, like, listen, we've spent the last 4 or 5 months every day like obsessing over how to create scripts. You know, you might say, oh well, yeah, ChatGPT is so easy. Well, go ahead, try it. Why don't you try it? Create an amazing fucking tutorial script with using ChatGPT. I want to see you do it. It's hard. So we've actually like figured out how to do it. We have like a full framework. We have like a full, formula for how to create amazing scripts using AI for tutorials, for any other video, basically, yeah, it's we have it nailed down. So some of the tips that I can give you is, well, the biggest tip that I can give you is that you will not be able to 100% create an amazing tutorial script or video script for that, in that case, only using AI. So there must be human intervention. Otherwise, it will get very messy and it will be shit. It's still not at the point where you can just, say do it and then it does it. It needs to go do it, and then you go through it word by word, sentence by sentence, and you cross-reference essentially what's being said and how that is gonna look like visually at the end results. So that's my biggest kind of tip, is that you still need to either do it yourself, or if you have the resource, you need to hire a script checker, like a proofreader, who will then go ahead and essentially polish it up and make it good. All right. There's a lot more detailed, like nuanced strategies, but the general tip is that, yeah, you need a proofreader who will go ahead. So it's not like the scripts are free. They're fucking not free at all. The last video we are working now on, we spent over $1,000 on the script because it was like this monster video, and it's, even though bulk of the thing was made with AI, still, man, imagine that, because it was something like 40 something pages, So, dude, it's crazy. Is 1 to 2 minute search-based videos dead? Do Hessel, Yuri, or Ron still do it, or have you all moved on to high-quality, longer tutorials? Good question. Yeah, you know who is the best at that 1 to 2 minute thing? What's his name? That British guy with the glasses. Yeah, Guide Realm. That's the guy. So Guide Realm, he is like the king of 1 to 2 minute tutorials. He's like a train man. He just, he just does it, and he just doesn't stop, and he's good at what he does, man. So yeah, if you want to do that, just look at what he does and do exactly what he's doing. That's it, period. Do I think that's the best strategy? I don't know. I don't think so. It's a very, very passive, easy thing to do. It's like, you can literally, like, if all you obsess about is just those short 1 to 2 minute tutorials, then do it like Guide Realm, and just like, don't do anything else besides doing those fucking tutorials. He probably makes over 30 grand per month, and it's super passive. if he stepped away for a month, he probably doesn't have like a crazy team or anything like this, so his overhead is probably low. It's very passive. The only thing is that it's quite boring, I would say. It's like way too passive. So there's no active selling, there's no active lead generation, it's just literally just like a conveyor belt of like these amazing quality short tutorials, which works, right? If you only want to do that thing, sure, that works, right? And it scales. And but I also think that's a bit, I don't think that's the smartest strategy. And the reason why is because you're solely relying on the income from one source, which is just YouTube ad revenue, right? He doesn't generate leads, he doesn't sell, he doesn't have his own products, he doesn't have any other sources of income. So it's just pure ad revenue, which in my opinion is risky, right? Because what if something happens to your channel or whatever, ad rates change or invalid traffic hits or whatever, right? There's unknown unknowns, right? Black swan events that can happen that can wipe you out if you only have one. So I like to think of it not in terms of just like building an income on YouTube, but I like to think in terms of like a funnel, and then all of the different social media accounts, platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Insta, whatever. The content I post there gets me attention and eyeballs that then funnels down through my funnel to my site, my products and services, that eventually converts into, sales and customers. I think the real game, like the advanced game, is what all the top creators are playing, man. Iman, Hormozi, I'm getting into it now myself, is getting attention, buying traffic, getting organic traffic, and then funneling down that to your website or to your landing pages, extracting information, and then reaching out to these people and selling them on your products and services. That is when you build a business. That is the real business, right? So you don't build like a YouTube business, but YouTube is just one part of your business. You know what I mean? You own your domain. You own your email list. And so you use these social media platforms to then funnel it down and build your business. I was listening to Grant Cardone the other day. I think 1 or 2 years ago, he had 16 million people who watched his contents in 1 year across all channels, right? 16 million people. You know how many people bought from him? 154,000 people bought from him. And 30% of those buyers were repeat buyers. So if you do the math, 154,000 is less than 1/10 of 1%. So it's like 0.1 of people who watch your stuff are going to buy from you. How crazy is that? So you really need to figure out how big numbers you need to have in order to make a lot of money. They pulled in $155 million with those 154,000 buyers. So roughly the average order value is about $1,000 from every person who buys. Again, mindset, like understanding this is crazy important. So 154,000 people bought, 60 million people reached, average order value $1,000. 0.1% of people who watched bought anything. That is crazy to me. So, in order to have like a big business, you need to have big reach, big volume, and you need to funnel all that down, and you need to have these systems that capture, nurture, and converts. Boom. I like that. A really big question from Amir. How do you find high RPM niches to make tutorials and comparisons? Thank you, man. How do you find it? It's really simple. I mean, everything is out there. I don't know if that sounds a bit too like kind of not helpful to you, but it's all out there. It's YouTube search bar. That's all I use. I don't use TubeBuddy. I don't use vidIQ, right? I think those are all overpriced hype tutorial. The one useful feature from vidIQ is the outlier score, and that's free. I have the Chrome extension for that. Other than that, you can use Google Keyword Planner. You can use answerthepublic.com to get ideas for questions. But for these like big tutorials, just ask ChatGPT for a list of the 100 biggest, SaaS companies, and then just start doing, research on that. Brevo, Mailchimp, ActiveCampaign, SEMrush. Yeah, just go from there. You also, the crazy thing is, you don't need a lot. You can have like, if you just can rank one tutorial, like a really good one for very high traffic term, man, that one tutorial can be generating you a couple of $1,000 a month. I know because I've done it. You only need one good one. So it's not about just like how to find, it's more about like, okay, what's a good opportunity? There's like all these keywords, but then you need to decide, what am I going to go for? What am I going to do? Because not everything that you're gonna do. And I've tried a lot of shit, man. I tried selling dog food. I tried selling Amazon physical products reviews. I still have the Amazon review shop thing. Amazon is still making me money, but it's making me so little money, by the way. Maybe I can see if I can pull it up here, my Amazon affiliates. I'm not allowed to share it, by the way. I remember the terms of conditions specifically of Amazon affiliates. You're not allowed to show your dashboard. So I'm not going to be showing my dashboard, but I can just tell you right here. Yeah, Amazon is complete garbage. Like, I think Amazon affiliates is not worth it at all, right? My income, I can go here, reports, consolidated summary, and let me actually go last month. Okay, my last month's earnings from Amazon Associates, and I did a lot of videos for it, man. We were like grinding on this stuff. It's $115. Can you imagine that? Off Amazon, 71. On Amazon, 43. And then if I see what I actually sold on Amazon, it's like the creator, what is it? Creator something. Let me see. Custom range, I'll do last 30 days. What made me here money? Oh, come on, I don't even see commissions there. All right, let's see what has generated me the most money on Amazon Associates. Commissions earned, commission income. Okay, I sold a DJI Mini 4K. So I sold one drone that made me $9. I sold a Rode NTG2 microphone. So I sold like a shotgun mic review. I sold like a chainsaw. I sold a couple of books and stuff. But yeah, it's not great. It's really, really, really not great. I would not recommend doing anything with Amazon or any like associates. I also don't recommend dog food. If you don't have a channel specifically like about all things pets and dog food, then don't do it. Like physical products in general are not best. Yeah, so I saw some people do like mattresses and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really like it. Software, man. Software is where the money is because it's recurring and it's big margins and it's great. Software is great. That's a really big takeaway about it. It's really valuable, you know. It took me so long to test these things. Like, is it physical products? Is it software? Is it this or that? We were like debating so long and so hard, and we were putting so much effort and energy. Because it's like, when you're in the midst of it, when you're making a decision, anything can work. This can work, that can work, this can work. So what do you focus on? Well, of course you want to focus on something that will give you the highest ROI, But what does give you the highest ROI? You don't know. And that's what you need to find out. And that's also where we were talking a little bit about yesterday, but now I think it's more clear. Hello, everyone. We have 7 people joining. Welcome. If you have any questions about how small creators can make more money, drop them in the chat. We are talking about it. We've been sharing a lot of valuable information already. So if you have any questions, drop them down. My lovely assistant is going to be asking me more questions. And yeah, let's move forward.
I am struggling to be in front of camera.
You're struggling to be in front of camera. Help. Yeah, if you're struggling, well, I think if you're a creator, you're probably already in front of camera. But if you do find it to be hard in front of camera, some advice. Take a shot of tequila. No, don't drink alcohol. I never had a problem with that. I heard some people, they basically pull, like they if you have like a little screen on your camera, you can turn it around so you can look at yourself, and that makes it easier. But other than that, I don't know. It's really hard. One big piece of advice is don't be self-centric. Don't be self-centric, and focus instead on giving to other people. So it's not really about you. It's about the people who tune in to watch your stuff. So if they are going as far as to click or watch your video, then make sure that you're giving them enough value and that you're actually serving them. That is, I think, the main key, right? It's not about you, man. It's about the other person on the other end of, the camera. The technology is insane, right? I have this like little piece of glass and metal and plastic right there. Then I have a cable that has other metal things going inside of this other glass and metal thing. And then you guys from anywhere in the world can see me live. Just think about that. That blows my mind every time I think about it. Like, the distribution is crazy. It was never like this. People who say, oh, it's too late to get into creating content or live streaming. I'm like, dude, are you crazy? It has never been a better time. Really, it has. I think we're at the very beginning of this, I think this is the greatest opportunity. The way you monetize and stuff, it's of course there's many different ways and stuff, but just the overall content creation, getting attention, getting traffic, getting eyeballs, creating parasocial relationships, making it in a way that people get to know you like this, dude, that's insane, man. It's like, how there was a gold rush back in the day in the 18th or 19th century? Dude, this is the gold rush. Look at all the top creators. Look at all the top guys. Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, Ali Abdaal, right? MKBHD, Mr. Beast. What are they all doing? They're all making content in all different forms of and ways and fashions and all this. So just start creating. That's like the best piece of advice, man. Just start creating. Sabir, do you think creating a YouTube channel as a portfolio is a good idea? Yes, absolutely. 100%. Just create a YouTube channel, put your work there, showcase. Of course, it's a great idea. For me, for example, when I reach out to brands and when we talk, right, a lot of the times, one of my placeholder videos for those who are not subscribed to my channel, when they click through, the video I have that starts playing is the video of me like doing the ice bath challenge, right? I swam for 30 days in freezing water. And the people, it's a trend, right? Everybody's like, okay, you got to be doing ice baths. It's super good for you. But everybody is like a pussy, so nobody wants to do it because it's cold, right? So then these like grown up men and women, right, who work these like big positions in these like corporate companies, the first thing a lot of the times they tell me over email or over phone is like, yeah, I saw you doing the ice thingy. That's very impressive, right? That acts almost as my like business card. That video acts as my business card because it tells more about me and who I am as a person than anything else, because it's hard, man. It's hard to go every day into the freezing water and be cold and all this, you know, it takes like tremendous amount. So people are like, oh man, this guy's great, you know, he jumps head first into freezing water. Like, okay, let's do business for him. It's like a subconscious thing. So that's why I think it's super important. Yeah, super important to have that. Okay, someone said, how much is your highest RPM if you're okay to share? Yeah, doesn't really matter. I mean, I have RPMs that are like $100, $200, right? I have videos with good traffic with like RPM of $100. That's also crazy. Like, uh, it doesn't really matter because the main money is in the main money is of course in the commissions and brand deals and building your own brand and like selling your own services and products, you know? I do not recommend focusing on building up your ad revenue. I think that is a sucker's game because you're not building anything of your own. Of course, it's easy, you know, and it's a great bonus. Like when that check each month hits from Google Ireland in Europe, it's great. But building your own business, man, that's the way to go about it for sure. You gotta just think about this. Use social platforms for generating traffic to your business. Your business is not on the social platforms. You use the social platforms to connect with people. You start conversations with them. You know, you talk the talk, right? You share your opinions, you provide value, you share what you know to people like you guys. You know, you tune in, you watch, and then you establish a relationship with me, and then I invite you to go to my site and to leave your email so I can send you more, so I can send you emails, so you know I can offer you my products and services. That is your business. Social platforms is for grabbing attention, but then you need to capture that attention. So it's grab attention, capture, convert. That's the funnel, man. That's very, very important. That's kind of my message to the world. I want to get freelancers to make tutorials about softwares, but my freelancer is only comfortable doing face cam on the bottom. What do you think about that? Knowledge Base has done it in some videos. Dude, I think you need to rethink your whole approach to YouTube and to what you're doing. Okay? Really, I'm being serious right now. You need to not do anything, sit down and ask yourself, what the fuck am I trying to do? Okay? Are you trying to make more money? Okay. Is what you're trying to do, is that the best way to do it? Probably not, right? Why? Well, because what's the ROI on that? How many people are actually gonna like, is your freelancer good at using the platform that he's making a tutorial about? Probably not. He probably doesn't know anything about it. So the tutorial is gonna be average. It's not gonna have depth. The people watching that are gonna know it right away. They're not gonna watch a video. They're gonna click out to another video, and you're not gonna rank. The video is not gonna perform. You're not gonna generate as much money. You're not gonna convert any people to that software. So if you guys, it feels like everybody here just wants to do tutorials. If you guys want to do tutorials, guys, focus on making like the best tutorials. I can't stress that enough. Go like, go so far as to like hire people, you know, to come and like do an interview with you, you know, and share their advice, implement into the tutorial, have an amazing intro, like go super in depth, just like make it so good that when someone searches for that tutorial or for that thing and they click on your video, they're blown away by how good that video is. That's how you win, man. You win by exceeding expectations. You don't win by tricking someone into watching your shit, right? It's a People can decide. They can click away. They're just one button away from clicking away. Boom. There's videos right here on the right. There's a go back button. So if you don't serve, if you're just trying to trick someone into doing something, you're not going to win. You only win by exceeding expectations. Okay, we're under US sanctions. We can't get the deals and brand deals, unfortunately. Ad revenue is the only source, unfortunately, with lots of middlemen. Yes, I understand. I understand. Yeah, you probably can't get Stripe, I would assume. You probably can't get all this. It's yeah, then he needs to think about moving, man. if Then he needs to think about moving, really. I have two passports. I have Russian passport and I have Finnish passport. I could have been living in Russia, but I choose not to because I choose to live in Finland and I choose to be a citizen of the world and I choose to conduct business with the world because I don't want to live in a sanctioned country. By the way, if someone is from Iran, right? And that's a very sanctioned country. But guess what? Russia is like way more sanctioned than Iran. Really, I'm being serious. There's more freedom in Iran than there is in Russia. How crazy is that? So anyway, yeah, obviously, like I get to decide where I want to live. I have friends who have two passports and they can choose to live anywhere and they live in Russia. But they don't conduct business with the world. They can't really speak English. They just live there and they, try to build a factory or something. And it's like, to me, that's like crazy. To me, that's so crazy. It's insane. We live in the age of the internet. We live in the age of AI, and not using that opportunity to build a worldwide global business, to me, that's just crazy, you know? So I know that a lot of people are not able to move because there's family, right? Family is a big, by the way, kind of thing that ties you down to one place. Same for me. Like, I was thinking the other day, hey, should I move to Florida and start my life there? But then it's like, I see my family every week and my family is not getting any younger. So, and I'm like 10 minutes away from them and I see them a couple of times a week, right? If I move to Florida, which is like across the Atlantic, dude, I'm going to see my family like 2, 3 times a year, max 4 times a year, right? That's crazy. How long do they have to live? I don't know. But I wouldn't want to see my family 4 times a year. So, this kind of pursuit of bigger goals, bigger vision, bigger business. Yeah, is it really worth it if you're only going to see your parents, say, 30 more times in the next 10 years or something? To me, that's not worth it. So, life is a lot more complicated than just figuring out how to like solve for money. There's also, family is a big thing. So, yeah, if ad revenue is the only thing, right? Then like focus on making amazing tutorials. If like ad revenue is your thing, right? Focus on making amazing tutorials. But I'm sure that you can like buy a domain. I'm sure you can build a website, right? The trick here is to figure out how to capture leads, how to build your list with different social platforms and funnel it down to something that you actually own. Having a person on an email list is so much more valuable than just having a YouTube channel and having that follower, that subscriber. I promise you, so much more valuable. So yeah, look at that speech made me understand that it's all about quality. Great. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. We have 6 people listening. That's great. That's exciting. Any more questions?
How do I sell better?
How do you sell? Ooh.
Sponsorships. Well, you need to sell.
Yeah. I love selling. So my lovely assistant is asking, how do you sell better? Right? What's some of the advice for selling better? Well, the first and most important advice that I actually learned from Grant Cardone is to change your mindset from, ha, gotcha, to the mindset of I'm serving you, right? Like when you're selling, you're offering something of value to the other to the other person. If you are selling and the thing that you're selling, you don't believe in it, it's shit, it doesn't give value, your life is going to be miserable, man. You're going to feel miserable because it's going to be horrible. But if you're genuinely selling something that is amazing and that is great for the other party, then it's your duty, it's your obligation to do it, because their life is going to be better by getting what you have to offer. So this is like conviction that you have an amazing thing. So you need to believe, you need to actually start from a standpoint of like, yeah, what I'm doing is great for the world. What I'm selling is great for other people, right? When I'm selling a video, for example, to a company, dude, I know this is a fucking deal for them. This is amazing because these are super high quality videos, right? They have a very high chance of ranking in SERP. I know that, like, I'm 100% certain that these videos that they buy are gonna drive them conversions, like 100% over the next few years. So it's a great deal for them, even though they might not know it. You know, a lot of these managers, man, they don't understand. They don't understand that YouTube is a search engine. They don't understand that YouTube let the videos rank, that, you know, each video is a standalone digital asset. So it's up to me on the call to educate them and to explain to them, like saying, yo, these like, you need these videos, man. This is like an untapped opportunity right now. You need to invest into this because it will be great for your marketing efforts. It will be great for your ROI. That's kind of your job, right? Your job as a salesperson is to educate the other person and explain to them why the thing that you have to offer, they need it, right? They want it because it will make their life easier, better, right? They will feel better, whatever. So, yeah. I'm from Iran, bro. Yes, my friend is Russian and told me everything about sanctions, but I'm thinking about moving soon. Maybe we'll meet in UAE after we make it. Thanks for helping, man. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people move to UAE. A lot of Russians move to UAE. A lot of Ukrainians move to UAE as well. It's it's a tough place, man. You know, it's you need to have a lot of money, and it's a tough place. Not the easiest place, I would say, but it's a great place because there it's like, it's not about the politics. You know, that's the good thing about it. It's just like, you know, you can, if you just move to Dubai, you can conduct business with the world. You know, if you have like a Russian passport, you can move to UAE, you can open a company there, and you can, for example, sign up to Stripe. So that's a workaround. Same, I think, maybe from for Iranians as well, right? Do you hire anyone? I'm always hiring. I'm always recruiting. I'm always looking for talented people. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm always looking for talented people. If you are like talented and hungry and you want to grow together and you want to build something amazing, dude, of course I'm always hiring. You know, I'm always looking for the best of the best. But of course, you know, it's very, very, very rare that you're gonna find someone who's really good. So if you think that you're really good at something, reach out, let me know. If you're average, please don't reach out because I don't want to work with average people. I only want to work with the best and with the hungriest. So yeah, that's what it is. All right. Any questions? Please drop them in the chat. Remember, if you would like to apply to work with me, there's going to be an application form pinned in the comment section. So you can check that out, fill out information. If we're a good fit, I might be able to offer you help. And besides that, any more questions?
Give more tips on hiring.
More tips on hiring. Okay, more tips on hiring. So where do we start? I think the way to go about hiring is to, it's almost like a gut feeling, right? Yeah, I would say it's a lot about the gut, right? A lot of the times your gut is going to be wrong. I think minimizing the friction is like the way to go about this, right? So just get them into your Slack as soon as possible. give them a test trial thing as soon as possible, and then look at what they do, right? The best tip for hiring is probably like give them a task and leave them alone. You want people to surprise you. That's the best, my tip, you know? If someone is really good, dude, they're gonna exceed your expectations. You're just gonna give them the thing, you're gonna give them the minimum amount of information, and they're just gonna make amazing stuff for you. That's it. That's kind of the best tip. And if they don't, then they're not a good hire. As simple as that. So minimize the friction, get them into your communication, Slack or whatever, as soon as possible. Give them a trial test thing, and then observe how fast they make it and how good they make it. If they're like fast and good, dude, you struck gold, man. Then you're like, all right, here's more, and then pay them and let's go, right? But if they're like not responsive, they're hard to work or like, you know, it's like if they create friction and it's like not smooth, then you bet that's the way it's gonna go. So you're looking for people who don't create friction, who work fast, who first and foremost create amazing stuff. That's what it is. You got to create amazing stuff. Everybody got to create amazing stuff. All right. That's my best tip for hiring.
Give me a motivational speech. I'm doubting myself. I can pull this off. I can really like be a successful content creator.
Give me a motivational speech. I'm doubting this. I don't know if I can be successful. Yep. All right. Here we go. It all starts with self-belief, right? The people who we were watching the School of Hard Knocks yesterday, he was interviewing women billionaires, and then one of the women said that like it all starts with self-belief. People who sit in those meetings with billionaires, you know, they believe that they deserve to sit in that room. They believe that they can, they believe that they are kind of, what's the word, intended, or like they are destined to be wealthy. So yeah, it really does come down to, and it's a hard thing, you know, because it's like in your mind, it's the chatter, it's the 24/7, right? You're on in your own head. It's like, oh man, like other people can pull it off, I can do it, and you have all these doubters, right? And doing, for example, what I'm doing, right? It's a public thing, right? There's a lot of like this kind of humiliation if you take it so, right? Oh, like he's only getting one like from his mom, right? But I like what Grant Cardone said about that is like, dude, I'm just gonna show up and I'm gonna die trying. I don't care. I'm just gonna show up and I'm gonna be that one guy who's gonna suck, but he's just gonna keep showing up and he's gonna keep practicing, you know? Just gonna keep showing up, keep practicing, and I don't care. I'm just gonna keep doing it, and I don't care what other people say. I don't care this. I just believe what I'm doing, and I believe that I'm destined for greatness and for wealth and for everything. And so I'm just gonna keep showing up. I'm gonna ignore all the naysayers. I'm gonna ignore all of that, and yeah, just keep showing up. Keep showing up. Showing up is like 50% of the battle. The other day, my sister called me. She's like, "Oh, I have this opportunity to go to this other country to meet this wealthy investor, and we might have a good deal going on there, but I don't know because I have like 3 kids and It's gonna be like a very long day. I'm gonna wake up early and then I'm gonna come back at night, so it's gonna be the whole day." I'm like, listen, half of the battle is just showing up, right? It might not turn out to be anything, but it's just about showing up. Showing up, meeting the people, and starting a conversation. You know, you never know. And a lot of the times, you will find out that just by showing up, you're going to attract a brand deal, or you're going to attract a deal. You're going to remember someone. You're going to meet someone on the way. It might not even be the person that is going to be waiting for you there at the meeting. It might be someone on the way, or someone in a restaurant, or someone outside of the conference room that you meet, and something happens, you know? You got to put yourself into situations where you are able to meet other people, right? This is one thing that is something that I'm not the best at, and something that's I need to practice what I preach is to put myself more into positions where I can meet other people. Because I get very comfortable being at home, being super comfortable, just like making content, and I have my routine and swimming and da 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 da, all this, So then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of dreading like flying somewhere, dreading to go somewhere. It's like, why would we do it? We can build a business from home, yada yada. But you need to go for it. You need to do it because you're going to meet the people and you need to intentionally once a month, look up. By the way, ChatGPT agent, bro, whatever it is you're doing, is like, tell me in the next 3 to 6 months, how can I be in the next 3 to 6 months? What are some of the events in Europe, for example, if you're in Europe or in Asia or in the US, where that I can attend in my industry? Then say your niche, say your industry, say what your goals at, and then like be very specific in the prompt and then set it to ChatGPT agent. You don't even need to research anything, bro. ChatGPT agent goes out and does all the research of all the events, and then you can be like, oh, go in, check it out, who is going to be there, who is attending, what the speakers are like, how much the pricing, and then dude, just go for it, man. Go for it. Even if you think you're not going to benefit, the first thing you're going to feel is like, oh man, I'm not going to benefit from this. Who am I going to meet? But it's a social event. You're going to meet people and you're going to start conversations, and that's very important. So go and do it. Go meet people, find events, buy your ticket, buy your flight, go there, drive there, walk there, something. I don't know. And meet people, talk to people. If you can't start a conversation, get a hoodie or a t-shirt that says in the back, please talk to me, I'm shy, or I make videos, come talk to me, or I make content, come talk, something like this, then people are gonna like, yeah, if you have a hard time. So cool. Questions? Someone said, how is it possible to be both smart, articulate, and super fine? By the way, thanks, but it doesn't affect me. Not the good stuff, but also not the bad stuff. That's something very important to understand, is for me as well, and for other people. Is like, if you are doing the content thing, if you're doing like the whole online thing, dude, there's so many online trolls, there's so much crazy shit online that you should not care. Like, you should not care about the good comments, you should not care about the bad comments. You should just be like neutral. Oh, it was helpful? Great, thanks. Oh, you think that I'm good looking? Great, thanks. You think I'm a piece of shit? Great. I don't care. You think that I was not helpful? All right, whatever. I don't care. So adapting this mindset of just like neutrality and not being affected. The only person that I care about my own opinion is myself. What I think about myself, that's what matters. Like, I know if I'm slipping, if I'm starting to get some negative thoughts, if I'm starting to think some weird stuff, if I'm starting to, what's the word? Adapt some bad habits in my head or whatever I'm starting to craving, I know it first thing, So you're only accountable to yourself. It's you versus you, 100%. Should we show something interesting on the screen? Should we show some video or some sneak peek of something? Let me know if you guys want to see something. I can maybe share something on the screen if there's anything that you would like to see. Let's see if there's anything. Uber for business. Yeah. SEMrush tutorial. Anyway, Sabira's like, yes, please show something on the screen. What do you want to see, Sabir? Let me know. All right, we got two people. One of them is Sabir. Someone else is also here. I think we're gonna start maybe rounding up soon. If there's any last questions that you guys want to get reply to. Oh yeah, of course. If you are interested in applying for mentorship, if you're interested in helping in working with me so I can help you implement strategies that I talked about in today's podcast, live stream, whatever it is, there's a link in the description, pinned comments, georgevlasiev.com/creator. You can apply, and if we're a good fit to work, I might be able to help you to implement the strategy so you can scale. Okay, so that's that. That's interesting. I think it's understandable to pay no attention and remain affected over negative comments, but I think it's okay to savor the positive things, especially when it comes to your community of fans, as long as you're grounded and remain humble. Yeah, but if you let positive impact you, you're automatically letting the negative impact you as well. There's no one without the other, you know? If you have one, you'll get the other one. You know, if you get the high, you'll get the low. So don't get high. Stay low. stay neutral. But I do appreciate you, DJ. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cool. We got 5 people here. We can keep going. Do we have more questions?
What could you show? Some analytics?
Yeah.
Platform, sponsor.
Okay, let me see. What can I show? Something very juicy, right? Let's see. Did I show the motion last time we were doing this? Let's see. I'm thinking what to show you guys from my vast library of videos. Something recent, you know? Well, one thing that I was talking in today's live stream was about the importance of quality, right? Quality content, and really why it's so important to just make the best videos possible. And one of the reasons I said is because, well, the main reason is because you're going to win in the market. But we talked about distribution of traffic, right? And how it's not just only search, but it's also suggested, right? So one of the videos here I can show you is Zendesk tutorial. Let's see if this is going to affect how many people are going to be joining the live stream if I'm sharing my screen, right? So now we have 3. So can you guys see my screen? I think you can, right? This video was published 32 days ago. It has 1,500 views, 183 watch hours. It's 48 minutes long. We brought 13 subscribers. Ad revenue is $41. And it's getting 114 views every 48 hours. As you can see, the traffic, 42% is coming from suggested, and 25% is coming from search, right? So it's not just about search traffic, man. It's about suggested traffic. You want to, if there's amazing content already, good. That's an opportunity to make more amazing content and get a share of the traffic. 4.4% CTR overall on 21K impressions. 56% click-through rate on this thumbnail, which I think is great because on a small one, it actually does look better. Yeah, suggested traffic. We are ranking for Zendesk tutorial. Ta-da! Engagements, 7.3%. We got hypes. Hype! And we got great retention, I think, as well. Let me see. Yeah, pretty good retention. Above average, average, above average. Like, it's all just above average, right? And that's also because people searching for this and clicking, they're like, oh, wow. Even though this is a 48-minute video, I got 15.6% average percentage views, which is good, right? That's the reason also why it's working. Yeah. US 10%. And RPM, $30. $30 RPM, $71 CPM in the last 7 days. 4.8, yeah, $12. So yeah, that's one of the videos. Let's see if that got more people in here. Your call is in another window. Bring the call back here. I can't see anything, by the way, now. Audio, actual recording is higher quality. Yeah. Anyway, cool. DJ said, thanks for the info, George. Been waiting for your live stream for a while. I did miss the first couple of one streams. Yes. So go to my site, connect with me, leave your email, and I will be notifying you when we're going to be live the next time. All right. Cool. Thank you very much. I hope you appreciate it. Sabir, you are on Riverside, so please make sure to cut this up into segments and shorts and send it to the team, and they're going to take care of the rest. So then we redistribute this across everywhere. Awesome. All right. Catch you next.